Have you heard of Tommy Shelby, the veteran who returned from battle and forged an empire from ruins? This is the story of a man who climbed from the trenches of war to the peaks of criminal power, only to discover that victory can be the cruelest defeat of all. He wasn't born with strength. He seized it. Block by block. War by war. The Great War had carved something hollow inside him, a void that could only be filled with control, with power, with the kind of respect that comes from fear. When he returned to Birmingham's smoke-stained streets, he brought with him the tactical mind of a soldier and the cold heart of a survivor. Tommy controlled the Peaky Blinders like clockwork. Every move calculated, every decision weighed against potential consequences. He outmaneuvered police with the same precision he'd once used to navigate no man's land, battled officials in boardrooms with the same ruthless efficiency he'd shown in the trenches, and eliminated anyone blocking his path with the methodical approach of a military campaign. But chaos wasn't his goal. He craved control. Order carved from the disorder of post-war Britain. A crown forged in violence, but ruled through quiet power. He understood that true strength wasn't in the loudest roar, but in the whispered threat that never needed to be carried out. Beneath the tailored coats and smoke, he was shattered, tormented by combat, by shadows that followed him from France, by remorse that ate at him in the quiet hours. The war had ended, but it lived on in his mind, replaying in endless loops of gunfire and screams. He sought to shield his family, yet authority made them prey. The higher he climbed, the bigger the target on their backs became. He witnessed allies perish, each death a reminder of the cost of his ambition. He lost his beloved, Grace, to a bullet meant for him. And created foes lurking in darkness, enemies who understood that to hurt Tommy Shelby, you didn't aim for him directly. Each victory brought greater loss. Each step forward demanded a sacrifice he hadn't anticipated. Sleep abandoned him, trust vanished. The pills that promised peace brought only temporary relief. Even tranquil moments felt like ambushes, calm before storms he couldn't predict. His mind, once his greatest weapon, became his cruelest prison. Eventually, he discovered reality. The truth that had been hiding behind every victory, every conquered territory, every enemy defeated. He had claimed everything save tranquility. Money, power, respect, fear, all of it meaningless without the one thing that remained forever beyond his reach. Death didn't find him in combat, where he'd always expected it would. Glory eluded his final moments. He simply endured long enough to surrender all that held meaning. His reputation still inspired dread, yet no one remained to dread him. The family he'd fought to protect had scattered to the winds. His organization, built with such careful precision, crumbled without his iron grip. No one left to rescue. The very people he'd sworn to protect had become casualties of his war against the world. Tommy Shelby constructed a realm, but it devoured his spirit. When everything ended, only stillness remained. In that silence, he finally found what he'd been searching for all along, not peace, but the absence of war. The quiet that comes not from victory, but from surrender. No one I recognize.